Right now I'm backstage at Lenoir Rhyne University speaking to all of their student athletes. Student athletes are filing in. Again, you guys know I'm pouring into everybody I see. Man, woman, child, old, young, it doesn't matter. I'm on assignment. My valleys, when I felt like the walls were closing in, when I was in the eye of the storm, was not just for me. I saw something that said, the devil whispered, you don't have what it takes to get through that storm. And then it says, the devil didn't know. I whispered back, I am the storm. I am the storm. Doesn't matter what you've been through. Doesn't matter what you've been through. As long as you can look up, you can get up. I'm pumped. They don't even, look, these kids, they don't even know. They don't even know what's coming. Much love. Good morning. I know that I have the ability to achieve my definite purpose in life. Therefore, I demand of myself persistent and continuous action towards its attainment. And I here and now promise to render such action. I fully realize that no wealth or position will long endure unless it is built upon truth and justice. Therefore, I will engage in no transaction which does not benefit all to whom it affects. I'm succeeding by attracting to myself the forces I wish to use in the cooperation of other people. I induce others to serve me because of my willingness to serve others. I eliminate hatred, jealousy, selfishness, cynicism, anger, and fear by developing a true love for all of humanity. Because I know that a negative attitude towards others will never bring me success. I cause others to believe in me because I believe in them and believe in myself. You see, this is my creed. This is my quest to never stop striving for the top, to always keep moving forward, to always be the very best I can be, because I am the power, I am the magic, I cannot be stopped, I am a winner. I promise to always be true to myself because I'm the master and creator of my universe, and I'm responsible for making a positive difference in the world and to the quality of life in it. I live in constant and never-ending improvement. That's a statement out of the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And right around the time I was your age, I just graduated college, I started reading for the first time. When I was in college, I didn't read. But I graduated and I started reading because my foundation wasn't as strong as other people. I knew I didn't have the support of a mom and a dad. I kind of knew I was on my own. So I just had one goal, like I just want to be successful. I didn't even know what that meant. I just want to be successful. At that time, it just meant pay for your phone bill, be able to pay your rent. And I started reading, and that thing, I never read something, and it made me feel a certain way. And so I come back to that part in the book again, a year later, 2 years later, and it made me feel good every time. And then along my little journey in coaching, I'd start reading it more to myself more frequently, like before games, get myself pumped up as an assistant coach. I am the power, I am the magic. And I'd be saying, I'm just getting ready. And then as a head coach, it became more consistent. And then I'd say it to my players before the game. And then I put it on the locker room wall. And I'm like, you know what? This is just me. This is part of who I am. This is the identity I want to adopt. It's okay to have a creed. And so now every single day, at least 10 times a day, I make sure I remind myself of who I am and what I'm about. And so while I did coach college basketball for 14 years, fortunate enough to be a part of some very good teams, fortunate enough to win 5 championships. At the age of 31, I became one of Division I's youngest head coaches. I made more money than my mom made in like 20 years working at the health department. In like 5 years as the head coach at UNC Wilmington. It's funny to laugh, it's funny to think about, because all I wanted to do was like be successful, remember? And so I was able to have those things, full scholarship athlete to Wake Forest, all that stuff. But what's most important is who I am between the shoulders. What's most important is that I'm here to serve. What's most important is that when I doubt myself and I'm insecure and I don't know if I can do it, that I just remind myself, just like you should, that you are the power, you are the magic, you cannot be stopped, and that you are a winner. Because we really do have to remind ourselves it's not always there. I showed that video, I don't know if you could hear it. I couldn't really hear from where I was standing, but to give you a little context about why I quit my coaching career, started to do this full-time, public speaker, that's what I do. I wake up every morning, decide that I'm going to do two things: inspire the world to make adversity their advantage, challenge people to enlarge their vision of what's possible. I do that through sharing my story, my experiences, but also things that I've learned. Excuse me, I've got a little cold. But I don't know if you can see it on that video, but my adversity started really young. And the reason why I address adversity, as athletes, you guys deal with things all the time, because the expectation and the standards are so high for you in your world. You guys work harder than 90% of society. You guys put yourself out there more than 99% of society. When you put that uniform on, whether it's to go to practice, whether it's to play in a game, you're doing something. You're allowing yourself to be vulnerable. Either I'm going to fail or I'm going to succeed, and everybody's going to be able to watch it, and they're going to document it, and it's going to be documented forever. Most people don't live their lives in that way. So I applaud athletes. Huge fan of what you do. Don't know why you do it, don't care why you do it. But I'm applauding what you do every single day, because you're different. And if you really, really buy into that idea, doesn't matter if you can dribble and shoot anymore, or you can run fast and jump high, when you go off into the other business part of your life, professionally, with your family, 10 years from now, just know that you're the 1% always. That don't change. Just because you don't wear the uniform. You're always different. You're always unique. Continue to bring that to life. But my journey started in Jacksonville, North Carolina. I was born in Jacksonville, North Carolina, put up for adoption. Lived the first 3 months of my life in an orphanage. I was adopted by a couple from High Point, North Carolina, which is where I was raised. I call that home. My adopted parents got a divorce before I ever remember them being together. I believe I was 3 years old. My adopted mother, her intentions were good, but her execution was not. She went on to get married 4 more times. I was sexually abused by her second husband at the age of 8. My mother also, she couldn't have kids of her own, so she adopted 2. She had over 70 foster kids in and out of my home. So you just imagine like a little person seeing men in and out the house, seeing different people coming in and out all the time, and most of these people broken, sad, hurting. And what happens with sadness and hurt? It becomes anger. And so it's expressed somehow in this way in my home. But also at the age of 8, because I believe God always balances the scales. So I know every person in this room, adversity is going to hit you in some way or another. It's already at some point for you. It's definitely going to continue through life. That's just a part of living. But I believe in all cases, God balances those scales. It's no coincidence that at the same time this sexual abuse started in my home, my brother, who's 4 years older than me, wanted to try out for the middle school basketball team. My brother was my first hero. He was my shadow. I was his shadow. He left the house to go work on his game. That's back when we played in the driveways, we walked to the parks, we played outside. If I was with him playing outside, I didn't have to be inside in my home. And so this whole basketball journey didn't start because I was just so good. Yeah, it's easy for you to say you were just so good, you got a full scholarship to Wake Forest, you're just this. Get out of here. I was escaping. As an 8-year-old. And basketball was just that thing that was safe. I didn't get in any trouble. My mom gave me permission to go do it. And I was out of the house. And that one little thing turned into 30 years. Championships won, full scholarship, lots of incredible moments, lots of incredible opportunities, 14 years of coaching where I made over $1 million because of that one thing. Because God balances the scales, is my point. Because it's all going to to be okay if you're looking for the part that's okay. But in the midst of all of that, I had to realize and pull the layers back, because your sport and your success will give you a comfortable place to hide. And I was hiding what was really happening under this whole basketball thing. And so I started this journey to pull back the layers and share who I am, because if I can share who I am, I believe if you go through something, it's your duty to share it and give it to someone else, because there's someone in this room who may have had some situations, and they may just need to see themselves as someone else so that they can have hope and confidence to just get back up and take another step. Because that's all we really need, is just a little bit of hope, a little bit of faith that it might be okay, that I came from that home, that happened to me. It might be okay. I just want to be a witness. I want to be confirmation. It's definitely going to be okay. When I was in high school, two things happened right before I was in college. Was in my college years at Wake Forest. College for me was very challenging, very difficult. My senior year of high school, I watched one of my classmates take a bullet right above his left eye. First week of school, Friday night after a football game, a lot of kids congregate like we do every Friday night after a football game. Fight breaks out across the street. You hear some gunshots. I see Jacob Walker on the ground. Okay. What do you do about this? Nobody's addressing this stuff. You don't know what to do with it. The end of my senior year, 6 days before I signed my national letter of intent to Wake Forest, my best friend committed suicide. So, first of all, I don't even know that the stuff that's going on in my house is wrong yet. The sexual abuse is like a hidden secret. Like, you just tuck that away. You don't know what to do with that. When you're born and your mother decides that they don't want you, there's a whole set of psychological circumstances and things about whether you're worthy or whether you're good enough, or being rejected by your birth mother. There's a whole other set of circumstances that comes along with that I hadn't quite processed. So I land on a Wake Forest campus, where, in case you don't know, I don't know if anybody's familiar with Wake Forest, but this kid right here doesn't fit the profile. You know what I mean? I gotta fit the profile academically, socially, my skin color, the way I acted. I didn't fit the profile. The other thing that I noticed for the first time, move-in day, my friend dropped me off. I had some trash bags with my clothes in it. I carried them up to my dorm, Johnson Hall. We had 5 other freshmen that came in with me. And I watched them get out of vans with their families. And they had a mom and a dad, and they looked alike, and little children that looked all the same. It's like, okay, I've never seen this before. This is weird. And they're happy. It's a great day. They're happy. And they got totes. And the totes are labeled like, this is your linens. This is for their bathroom, sweetheart. I showed up to Wake Forest University, got dropped off on the side of the road with a trash bag. And it didn't take me long to realize that your little whole situation, sweetheart, is different. It looked like that was love. That's what I saw. That was love. That was a celebration. We're going to go Walmart. It was a celebration. So in my heart, all these high moments of my life that are supposed to be so cool, and that other people will look at me and think, oh yeah, you just... Signing a national letter of intent 6 days after your best friend commits suicide, I can't find the joy in that. Showing up the first day of school and watching other people have a celebration, and I didn't find the joy in that. So college opened my eyes to what might be real. Like, other people got some real stuff. They got families. They have support. There's one of my teammates' fathers who will drive 6 hours for a game and then get in his car and drive back home. My father never seen me play basketball. I was the best kid in the state, in the region, and my father never came to a game. He doesn't even know when my birthday is. But I'm learning this at your age, right here. And that sadness turns into anger. Now every time somebody tips my cup over, meaning academics is hard, basketball is hard, everything around me, because you're challenged every day as an athlete. Show up to the study hall. Did you do that? Did you meet with your tutor? Did you go to get treatment? Did you do all these things? Show up to the weight room. You got all these tasks that you got to check, and you got to be there, you got to be there, you got to do that, you got to do well, you got to gain, get pumped up, let's go. Did you box out? Do you know the scout? So many things. And so when I start failing at some of those things, lid blew off that thing. Anxiety attacks, depressed, suicidal. I was like, man, I ain't had this stuff. I don't have what it takes. My message to you, where I am standing right now, is that you do have what it takes. And wherever you are in your little journeys, wherever you are, that adversity, that sadness will open up something inside of you that lays dormant in everyone else. You will show up to something and be a better version of yourself, stronger, smarter, maybe more compassionate in some ways, maybe play with more of an intensity, because my father's not there, whatever it might be. You got something other people don't have. But until you embrace all of who you are, then you'll never be able to access it. So I'm at a point now, you saw in the video, 10 years I hate it. It's the most embarrassing thing. Embarrassing. I hated my mother. I was really good at not liking her. I told everybody how much I didn't like her, how bad she was. She should have done this. What kind of woman does that? Anger is not sustainable. You don't learn anything else. Anger is not sustainable. It may help you for a while. It may give you some focus, intensity. You want to prove somebody wrong, you want to do that. Anger is not sustainable. Love is a thing you need. And I needed to love her. Coach was saying, football coach was talking to me. I knew you guys lost your first game. Where's football players at? In this corner. So I knew the football team lost their first game because I've been working with Coach Cole, who's done a great job of organizing this and communicating and just being a master communicator. Thank you so much. But I talked to him after the first loss. I was like, Coach, somebody lost the other day. It looks like, yeah, we, just got to get better, Coach. That coach's talk stuff. Then I look up and it's like they won 10 in a row. So I asked Coach, I said, what happened? How you just reel off that name? He said love. They start loving each other. Wow. That's a transformative energy. There's a power inside of that. And the real deal is you can't fake it. You can't fake it. And sometimes things will get over and you'll realize, God, I should have loved more. Like I should have loved my mother more while she was here. Instead of getting a call that she's in the hospital and she could die, she may not make it, another 48 hours, you probably need to get here and start planning the funeral. I should have probably taken the opportunity to love her more. I loved her for 2.5 years, watching her die. I just went to the cemetery yesterday. And all I can say, I don't like talking to the grass. All I can say, I wish I would have loved you better. I wish I would have loved you better. So I just challenge you to do that in your own life. It doesn't have to be your mom. You may love your mom to death, but if you don't, love her better. Your father, love him better. My father's not in my life. I don't know when his birthday is. He doesn't know when mine, but I love him for where he is. He gave me all he could. That's all he had. I embrace and I accept that. Your teammates. This thing is over. 12 months, some of you will be on to something new. 24 months, on to something new. 36 months, on to something new. 48 months, everyone in this room will be gone. Probably. That's fast. That goes by so fast. So in order to accelerate your performance, your success, and what you're going to get from this opportunity, I challenge you to just let go of whatever it is. Anger. If you've got things that happen in your life that you haven't quite dealt with, maybe talk to someone about that. Maybe be open and vulnerable. because that energy right there allows us to love and see ourselves as someone else. I think it's important. Don't wish you would have loved your team better. Don't wish you would have loved Lenoir Rhyne University better. Don't wish you would have loved getting up and working out and playing on your team or taking those bus rides. Don't wish you would have loved it better. And the thing about this, I didn't know my mom was going to die. You know this is going to end. You know there's a beginning of when you started your career here, there's a dash, and then there's an ending. And so you know. So for you to be intentional and deliberate about what you do and how you address this, I think is very, very key. Very key. I created 7 steps to make adversity your advantage because I coached a lot of, myself as one, but I coached a lot of kids who are insecure, had stuff going on at home as well, doubts. I think adversity, left unattended, can lead to death. My mom died at 62, spent the last 2.5 years of her life in the hospital, and I spent a lot of time in hospitals and nursing homes, and I'm walking by, and people are in there that don't have to be in there. They're in there because they allow toxic behaviors, because of some pain they felt, take over their life. So I created 7 steps. These are things that I just learned firsthand, because life was killing me. Acknowledge what's going on. You got issues at home, acknowledge it. You got issues with your game, your sport, you're not fast enough. You need to be more fit. You need to study more to get the grades you want. Whatever it might be, acknowledge it. Talk about leadership, that's what leaders do. They take personal responsibility so they can own their own outcome. Acknowledge it. The second thing you should do is accept what you just acknowledged. Accept it. 2004, I lost the love of my life, my grandmother, to lung cancer. And I could acknowledge that she was gone, but I was not accepting that. I'm not accepting not having her here. And that attitude, combined with the other layers of pain I had, started drinking, to have fun, to be happy, to be excited. 1 night a week, turned to 2 nights a week, turned to 3 nights a week. I got really good at drinking, y'all. Really good. And at 29 years old, assistant coach at UNC Asheville, right down the road west, I drove down a one-way street with a blood alcohol level 3 times the legal limit. Embarrassed. You maybe have made some mistakes that you're embarrassed by too. Embarrassed. The officer is saying, you have the right to remain silent. I'm saying, this is not me. This is not me. This don't match the vision I have for myself. And I knew then, first of all, you don't got a safety net. Your mom and daddy is not coming to save you. So what are you doing? Second thing, no one cares that grandma died. No one cares that you were sexually abused. No one cares that you don't have a daddy in your life. No one cares. You still got arrested. They didn't let you out or let you off the hook because you had stuff. So it's not the world's responsibility to validate your pain. You got to take care of that internally yourself. If you don't, it will take you out. And so that incident woke me up. I said, no more. I'm done. I had already outgrown that job, that life, that situation. I declared in that moment, I'm going to be a head coach next year. I don't care where. NAIA, JUCO, it does not matter. I made a decision. That's what leaders do. They make a decision. For some of you, it may be something, I'm going to be all conference. I'm going to be the best whatever on my team. Someday they're going to call me and say, you just got inducted into the Lenoir Rhyne Hall of Fame. I'm making a decision. I'm graduating with this. I'm going to grad school and I will do this. The image you have of yourself is more important than anything. Decide what the image is. I decided in that moment, which at that point in my life to me was the worst part of this most embarrassing thing I'd ever been through. I had to deal with it myself. And it was like I was in a little storm. And I made a decision in the valley. I'm better than this. And 3 years from that day, I won 4 championships, quadrupled my salary. 3 years. For making a decision. And the other thing I did was I accepted the fact that my behavior was out of line. And it didn't matter exactly why my behavior was out of line. It didn't matter that grandma died. It didn't matter that all these other things happened. That I had to accept my life and own my own outcome. So I'm challenging you, stop blaming. There are 3 things you can be doing in your story. You can be the victim, which I was really good at. You can be a villain, which being negative towards my mom, I was a villain. Or you can be the hero. You can decide. But that victim and villain stuff will take you out. This is your story. And what leaders do is they take responsibility for their story. I'm not blaming anyone else for why I'm sitting on the bench. I'm not blaming anyone else for why I can't get an A. I'm not blaming anyone else for why I got a DUI. That's on me. I was being a victim. And I flipped that. Because I am the power, I am the magic, and I cannot be stopped. And sometimes I had to remind myself of that. You will have to remind yourself of how great you are. And that the scars that you've been through and the battles that you've been through have left scars in you. Bring them to your next battles. Roll up your sleeves and remember, oh yeah, I got through that. Sometimes I have to look in the rearview mirror and realize, this is not supposed to happen. I'm not supposed to have made it out of Guilford County. Like, really. Some of you shouldn't have made it out your home. Some of you should not have made it. You did. You did. Sometimes you got to remind yourself that I'm the 1%. I'm the 1%. Accepting who I am and rewriting the story. Everybody's living a story. What role are you playing in? Are you the hero? Are you the victim? The world will not allow you to stay the victim a long time. When we hear about crisis in our country, somebody walks into a school and shoots it up, people lose their lives, how long do we talk about it? 2 weeks? We get upset about it for a while, and then what? Do you go Google what those kids' names were? Do you go find out who their brothers and sisters that were affected by that tragedy were? Do you write them a letter? Do you keep writing them letters? No. Because you got your own journey. The world doesn't give us permission to stay in the victim stage for long. It doesn't matter how intense the tragedy is. Be your own hero. You need help, model the behaviors of others. Get around successful people. People who have done what you want to do and done it better. I only hang around people who are smarter than me. Rules. If you're not smarter than me.
I wanted to say that what you said really touched my heart, because I've been through a lot of stuff, especially coming to LR and being a black person, and being surrounded by people that's not of color is really tough. But hearing what you had to say took me to a different level from where I was, because I was had been suicidal and felt like I couldn't do it, or felt like I wasn't good enough, and hearing what you had to say helped me a lot.
What do you think about today's message?
Today's message was just really powerful. I mean, I've heard a lot of different speeches and everything, but just something about the idea of refusing to lose that just hit differently today. And just the idea of not letting anything really stop you from doing what you want to do and having an idea for success and chasing it.
I'm doing a ton of, and I'd say my biggest takeaway was being the 1%. And it's so funny because I was talking to Coach Cole, and that's probably the biggest impact on me too. I was talking to Coach Cole literally a week and a half ago, maybe, about how the world, they show us the 1%. They show us, all these people who are famous and got all this jewelry and all these things. And kids like myself and, a lot of us who come from maybe poverty-stricken areas, that's all we see. We don't see, sometimes labor workers or other people that are very successful in other things. So I always looked at that and